What's up, fellow classers? It's Apollyon here, and as you can see, this Valkyrie is confused. Should she take with her the Hog Riders and a Go Va Ho, or should she bring with her the balloons and a Go Va Lo? And we're going to really just focus on Town Hall 8. That doesn't mean that you can't apply this to Town Hall 9, but things are a little different. You don't see a Go Va Lo as often in Town Hall 9, and we'll get into why you don't when we go over when you should use it for Town Hall 8. Now, Town Hall 8 is really a majority of attacks you're going to see is going to be Go Ho or Mass Hog, but there's definitely a good place for Go Va Los or Go Va Hos. We're going to explain when and where we can do it. And a lot of times the same or the exact same base can be hit by multiple different attacks. So one of the reasons you should use a Go Va Ho or a Go Va Lo is if that base is somewhat open. So what that means is it doesn't have tons of compartments with tons of walls in there. The last thing you want is Valkyries to be banging on walls the whole time, getting hit by all the defenses. So it's either open base to begin with, or it can be opened with Quad Quake or Wall Breakers. So that's another way to open it. If it's not already done, do it yourself. The next question is, and we're going to look at a lot of examples here, are all of the air defenses accessible in the core, or are they not? So when that core is open, can those Valkyries get to all those air defenses without having to bang through a bunch of walls? When you're bringing a Go Va Ho or a Go Va Lo, usually, and you can tweak it to however you're comfortable with, you're going to bring about 6 to 9 Valkyries, and that includes 3 in the clan castle. So you're either going to bring 3 of your own, 4 of your own, 5 of your own, and then 3 in the clan castle. And then as far as heals go, depending what you're going to do, if you're going to use Wall Breakers or Quad Quake, if you're going to use Quad Quake, you're left with 2 extra spells at Town Hall 8. And again, this is just what's been tried and tested. Whatever you're comfortable with is what really matters. But the rule of thumb is to bring 1 rage and 1 heal for those Valkyries when they get in the core. And then if they're going to use Wall Breakers, you're going to bring 1 rage and 2 heals. And depending on whether you use a Go Va Ho or a Go Va Lo, you can use it on the heals on the Valkyrie, or you can use the heals on the Hogs, or mix one in for each. So it's really up to you. So why don't we go ahead and get into actually some of these bases and show you examples and when and where to use each of these attacks. So in this particular example, we're going to see why he uses a Go Va Ho instead of a Go Va Lo. Going to use a Quad Quake and decides to Quad Quake, let's just change this color. I believe this area right here, or not that far low, but this area right here. So that's going to open up this entire portion of the base right here. All of this is going to be open. That's going to be able to go ahead and let him take out a certain amount of air defenses, like this one right here. This one will be able to be taken out, and this one will be able to be taken out. This one, although it could be taken out by a wizard or something like that, is very unlikely that it is going to get taken out. That means that this base is not as vulnerable to a Go Va Lo, because the loons that would come in from this side, this area, and this area right here are going to all be in range of this particular air defense, and they will shred through balloons with no problem at all. So it's a very good decision to go with the Go Va Ho here, because he will get a lot of this base, the core done, and the other parts of the defense, and then send the Hogs in to go ahead and jump the walls to take care of the other defenses and get those. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And we're going to go ahead and see what happens here. So Irish is going to go ahead and I think he sends okay, so he's going to do the Quad Quake first. And that's going to open up about 50% of this base. So most of the base is now open. As long as he can open that first compartment, which he does bring Wall Breakers for, it's going to grab the lure. You have to grab the lure with with something. At least this time it's going to be Hogs, because everything else was outside the clan castle range. I don't know if he got the full clan castle here. Looks like it's pretty close, but not sure. Decides not to do a lure, or not to anchor down and go ahead and kill it with a kill squad. Just go ahead and use these wizards backed up by the golems, or the opposite. The golems backed up with the wizards to take care of that. He's bringing a Shattered Entry, opens it up with a Wall Breaker, and now this is completely open. All the funneling is done and can send in those Valkyries. Even though they wanted to run around, they couldn't because there was no other buildings around the edge to go get. So he brings 2 heals, of which he can go ahead and heal up the core if the Valkyries get a little low, or they're going to trip Giant Bombs, which he decides to do. And does trip a Giant Bomb, trips a double Giant Bomb set. So that is fantastic, and it's time to go ahead and send the hogs in. Now take a look at this, because this is what a good Goho is consisted of. This defense right here, this defense right here, and we're going to hope this one, the Archer Tower up top, is this one. They are all, and even the mortar up there, they are all pointed towards the kill squad, all inside of here. So just watch that as it unfolds here, and these hogs are not going to quite go completely untouched, but basically untouched up top. I mean, 1 or 2 Archer Towers will do that, and get on the hogs, but he's going to lose very little to them, and he doesn't have to waste heals for that. So they're making their way around the base. Decides to go ahead and use his heal for his hogs to help them push through. Let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff and make their way through the rest of this base. That golem will come on in there and start banging on the wall and tank for that Archer Tower. The hogs do unfortunately trip that Giant Bomb kind of outside the range of that heal. A couple of them were in heal. One hog almost gets down to that, gets that Archer Tower down up top, but does not quite finish it. And now they only has 1 hog left, but those Valkyries are swinging up top, down on the bottom, and that golem is tanking. This hog I don't think will make it all the way towards this Archer Tower. Maybe it will. It's 1 hit and it'll be over. There we go. We're finished, and everybody's doing cleanup. Those Valkyries are great cleanup. They move super fast, and archers up top and some barbarians and things like that. But this thing is completely crushed. So, due to the fact that opening that core, opening that base with a quad quake does not give him access to all those air defenses, and you see how long that last air defense stood, there's a choice to go with Go Va Ho instead of Go Va Lo. So very, very nicely done, Irish. All right, so we just watched a Go Va Ho, and we explained that, SGK used that the Go Va Ho because he wasn't able to get all of those air defenses with the kill squad. And this instance is going to be a little bit different because we're going to use almost the same spell composition. Quad Quake with, instead of 2 heals, a heal and a rage. But we're going to Quad Quake this area right here. Don't know exactly where the spell goes down, but it is going to open up this entire core right here. Let's just switch this. All right, here we go. We're gonna drop the quad quake somewhere in this area, and it is gonna open up this entire portion of the core here. And what that means is, before we weren't gonna get all 3 air defenses. Now we've got access to this one, and to this one. So that means that these Valkyries can be raged up and chew through this core, take out all those air defenses, and then send the loons in from the back end and up top. Also notice the distance between the point defenses like this right here of all these Archer Towers that can do damage to the loons. I mean, right here there's a spot that you can drop the loon in right here, and they'll be automatically right on these defenses. So it makes it harder to anchor, but it makes it much easier to drop loons and take these point defenses out super fast. Also right here, and everything else in that area, all the cannons, the mortars, nothing else can really hit that. So it's going to be just fine to bring 8 balloons and 10 Valkyries. That's going to work out just good because she really wants these Valkyries to get through the core. So I was going to choose a no lure, drop the quad quake immediately, so that will open up that core. And you got to do a little bit of funneling. So drops those golems in there, start routing. Drops those wizards on the outside, and they'll start that funneling process. Get that wide funnel for these Valkyries. The clan castle will be tripped, but these Valkyries will take care. And unfortunately for the defender, they used all ground troops, and those Valkyries love ground troops. So they'll rage up and eat through those ground troops in just one swipe. Same thing with the wizards, will do the same thing, and they are flying through this core in heal. Already been raged up, and they're healed up all the way back up to full again. So they're just going to cause complete havoc in here. All the two air defenses are down now, and that last one is just about to go down. Look at the what's already completed. That wizard tower on the bottom corner there was done by the kill squad right in this area. So this is already gone. I think that was an archer tower or something like that. That's already finished. And all we have to worry about is this archer tower, this archer tower, this archer tower, and this wizard tower. That's the only defenses that can get these balloons. And of course, yeah, and I'm sorry, this Tesla, because this air defense is just about to go down right now. So great time to start deploying these loons. Probably even a little slow off, because she can start sending in those loons up top right now as well. That air defense is just about to go down, but no harm done. And you see how fast those loons get in there. She could have even dropped them a little bit closer. And, they're going to make their way through this core and get these outer defenses and help out that kill squad, all those Valkyries, King, and Golems in there, and take them out. That Wiz Tower is proven to be a little problematic. That Valkyrie will tank for that Tesla and give that loon a little bit more time, or both those loons, to get in there and knock it down thanks to that Valkyrie. But we are all finished. I mean, that was like a hurricane coming in, or a tornado. And, look how many Valkyries are still up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5, maybe 6 Valkyries. King is still up, and has a couple wizards there too. So this base was completely trashed. Very good use of composition troops, and very, very nicely done. Those Valkyries just made a huge difference, and the loon was the perfect choice, as there was only 2 or 3 defenses that could really even do any damage to his loons, whereas the hogs would have had to go through all of those point defenses, the mortars, the cannons, and the archer towers. So, can you use Go-Va-Ho on this base? Yes, you could. Is it more complicated and more chance of a fail? Yes, it would be, because those hogs would probably take more damage, but it could be done. It's, you can use them interchangeably, but this is definitely the better strategy. So very, very nicely done. All right, so for this last attack, we're going to let you be the one that decides what you would bring in for this particular base. It's going to be you just think of it as a Town Hall 8. I just wanted to throw in a Town Hall 9 to show it works with that too, but a very low-level Town Hall 9 with low-level walls and, no Archer Queens or Expos to deal with. So, what would you use to hit this base? What would you bring with your Valkyries? So we're going to go ahead and let Irish do this, and you see if you both are on the same page. So we send a hog in there, and I don't think they had a clan castle in here, which, you know what, I mean, that's still what you do anyway. So a shattered golem is what Irish is bringing with a large funnel, so same basic stuff right now. And then sends the king in there as the funnel begins, and we need to go ahead and send some wall breakers in here, there we go, to open up at least a compartment of this base, and then a quad quake goes down. So are you thinking what you would bring right now? So let's just go ahead and freeze it when this is open. Let's take a look at what is available here. So we're looking at a core that's pretty open, but unfortunately we still have 3 air defenses that are completely out of that core and are not easily accessible to the Valkyries. So hopefully you all are thinking Go-Va-Ho here instead of Go-Va-Lo. So the king and the wizards and the golem are going in. The Valkyries are sent from behind. That gold storage ends up going down. Valkyries in the clan castle are a little slow, but are sent in a little slow, but they still make it in the core, do that good funneling. And then we're going to go ahead and heal the Valkyries up in that core, and they're going to have to go ahead and start taking out everything that's in that core, which is all the Teslas, which is a lot of point defense. So it's time to send the Hogs in. Keeps that extra heal for the Hogs, like we were mentioning in the beginning. Most of these defenses are focused on those golem or golemites down in the bottom. King and Valkyries are doing damage up top and are starting to go ahead in the cleanup work, even though all the defenses are not down. But the Hogs will take care of that without any problem. And now we are in complete cleanup mode. So same exact thing you would do to a Town Hall 8 with just 3 defenses. If 2 of them were outside of the core, it's exactly the same. So very, very nicely done. Was a Gova Ho, and bringing those Hogs in and only using 6 Valkyries because it didn't have to get that far into the core, just clean it out and didn't have to worry about those air defenses. So very, very nicely done, Irish. Hopefully you were able to understand the difference between the Gova Lo and Gova Hos. Figure out what's more comfortable for you. If you want to make that big push and really get your kill squad into a good portion of the base, bring a couple extra Valkyries. If that core is a little bit easier to access, and you need to have more back-end cleanups because the walls are in the back where those Valkyries cannot get through, and it would take them a long time with a lot of point defenses hitting them, go ahead and take a little bit off the Valkyries and throw in some more loons or Hogs or whatever you're doing. So, balance it out, get used to it. The only way you're going to do is go ahead and try it multiple times. I know I have failed to Gova Los many, many times as well as Gova Hos. Very comfortable with it now. Use it very exclusively in Town Hall 9. Gova Ho is a huge, huge attack that almost everybody uses. So anyway, hopefully you were able to take these instructions here, these bases that were hit. Go ahead and get comfortable, duplicate the attacks, the deployments, practice them. Go ahead and get those 6-star clan wars and practice those 3-star attacks.